Alright, let's look at the homework 10.2, problem number 10. Alright, so let's find the surface area obtained by rotating this curve. Alright, so if you want to find the surface area, S is equal to, alright, so you have a 2 pi and the integral. Right. Remember that you're going to have, let's see, 2 pi, then you're going to have radius. Right. Radius. And then we would have to have arc length. Right. So arc length. Alright. So radius. Since this is rotated about the x-axis, radius is simply the y value. So we're going to have, this is going to be just y. Alright. Then arc length is, remember that if you want to do it with respect to t, it's going to be derivative of x with respect to t squared plus derivative of y with respect to t squared and dt. Alright, so let's just put everything in. So we have then it goes from 0 to 1. Right? So you have a 2 pi integral from 0 to 1. Right, y is 9t squared. Alright, then you have a square root of, right, actually let's compute this on the side. So it's a square root of, alright, so derivative of that would be 9 minus 9t squared, and we have to square this guy, square that, and plus, alright, derivative of that is 18t. So I'm going to write it as, let's say I'm going to write it as 2 times 9t. Then we need to square that. Alright, so this is going to be, let's see, seems like we have a bunch of 9s. So I'm going to have a 9 factored out, so you have a 9 squared. Right, then you have a 1 minus t squared and plus 9 squared. Then you have times 4t squared. Alright. Then since we have a 9 squared and 9 squared, we can't pull these guys out here. So with the square root, it's going to be just simply 9. Right? Then you have a square root. Right? So 1 minus t squared would be 1 minus 2t squared plus t to the 4th. Then you are adding 4t squared. So this is going to be 9 square root of 1, and I'm going to combine negative 2t squared and the positive 4t squared. So plus 2t squared, and then last term is t to the 4th. Alright. Luckily, we can complete the square inside the square root. It's just going to be 1 plus t squared. Right? Then we can cancel square and square root. Then you end up getting simply 9 times 1 plus t squared. Alright, so square root is actually gone. Alright, so what you get is going to be times 9, and then you have 1 plus t squared, then with respect to t. Alright, then you have, let's say it's a big number, so you have 9 and 9, so you have 2. So we can probably, I'm going to just write it as 2 times 9 squared pi. Alright, then we can combine t squared with, let's distribute t squared to 1, you get t squared. And then you have t to the 4th power, so t squared times t squared. Alright. Then we will get, so you have 2 times 9 squared pi. Alright. Then you have, add 1 to the power, so 3, divide by 3. Plus, add 1 to the power, so it's 5, divide by 5. Then you're going from 0 to 1. Alright, then you have 2 times 9 squared pi. Alright, so it's going to be 1/3 plus 1/5 minus, if you plug in 0, it's going to be 0 anyway, so we have that. And then you have 2 times 9 squared pi. Alright, so taking a common denominator, so that's 15. Alright, then you have a 5 plus 3, so that will be 8. Alright, then we can simplify just a little bit. So this has a 3 in it, so divide by 3, so it's 5. So instead of 9 squared, so it's a 9 times 3, so I'll put 3 here. Alright, and I think that's all we can do. Alright. Alright, so this is going to be 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 9 is 54. 54, so 54 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. 5 times 8 is 40. Right, so it's going to be a 432 pi over 5. Alright. So that's the surface area. Alright, so let's type it in. Alright, oops, that's not it. Alright, we have 432 pi over 5. Alright, let's submit for testing. Alright, it came back and looks like we got this one correctly. Alright, that's it. I hope that this was clear.